What's up, the squad? Back with another video I sent that I was going out. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Definitely had to tap in and lock in within this video. It's definitely an important video. I should definitely say it's definitely an important video. Something that I definitely wanted to check out, because it's important. It's definitely important to talk about these things, to get these things out here. I know a lot of people are looking at the simple fact that it's been going on for a minute. It's been ongoing for a little while, but more and more information, is coming out on a daily basis. Truly on a daily basis. I'm seeing a lot of different things, each and every day, and it's truly crazy. It's definitely crazy. But y'all have it here. Jeff Metcalf is on, Fox News to talk about a lot that's going on, and really revealing, a lot within the Carmelo Anthony's in his family. There's no apologies, no nothing of what they're doing. Check it out.
Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff Metcalf, joins me now here in Dallas. Jeff, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you, Will. Thanks for having me.
I think I'd love to just start this conversation with some of what I just shared with the audience. This is not...
And I want to say, don't mind me. I know I probably had time to do this, but I am listening. I'm also responding to a lot of comments and stuff like that. I know my main thing is that I try my best to respond to a lot of people. It is a lot of comments between this whole week, with Carmelo Anthony's case. I told y'all, no matter how big I get with anything, when it comes down to social media and my following, the support, you have from supporters, fans, whatever you want to call it. I truly try my best. I try my best, to get to everybody and talk to everybody as much as I can. I try to find time to also do that within having two girls. And when I say it's tough, it gets tough. I tried to go fishing today. When I say it's the worst, having a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old girl, it gets bad. I'm not gonna lie, it truly gets bad. But one thing about it, called two bass, and I'm good with it. Truly good with it. Let's get right
new
back
to you. I'm sure you've seen the video and heard the 911 call. I did notice you took your earpiece out. You didn't want to hear that audio again of the 911 call.
Correct.
Just too hard to hear it again and to see this video.
And there's another body cam footage that hasn't been released, and it has some pretty graphic details, and I can hear my son screaming, and it's something I don't really want to care to listen to again.
Totally understandable. What, with this video's release, Jeff, do you hope the public can see about this moment?
Well, I mean, obviously, the trial not being publicly viewed live, due to there's so many minors involved, and that's a different subject I could talk about on its own, because look at the damage that these young students who had to witness this murder, who have to live with this for the rest of their life. Every one of them, I believe, are in counseling. PTSD could be a thing. I mean, this is a trauma that you carry the rest of your life, possibly. Hopefully they can get the help they need and move forward and not be scarred from it. Me personally, I'm the same way. I need the help too, to make sure that I can move forward. And that's what I really want to concentrate on, is moving forward. I hope this video can clear up a lot of the misinformation that was provided throughout the entire year before the trial came to light. There were multiple lies and mistruths that were put on social media, that were spoken by even individuals that have some fame. People had their own opinions without even seeing the facts, and that's the part I have trouble with.
What do you make of that? Candidly, with the audience, you and I spoke a little bit earlier today, and it's one of the great mysteries for me, and how something that is so clear, the facts so obvious, was turned into something that was this great national discussion of race. I think you called it earlier. How did this become George Floyd 2.0?
Unfortunately, in today's more...
I'm not gonna lie. If y'all don't know, if y'all watch my recent videos that I put out, I told y'all from the get-go. I had a lot of people that, disagree with me with this, but I said back then, because I didn't really cover, the whole George Floyd case that much. I think I put up a video or two, but last year when this happened with Carmelo, I said that this would definitely be worse than George Floyd. Things will get bad, and y'all gotta think, I feel like things have just started. I truly feel like things have just started. Me personally, just for the simple fact, and I feel like it's a little different too because a lot of this is more so online. You know, a lot of this talk is more so online too. You know, obviously it was, you know, with George Floyd and stuff like that, but I feel like online has definitely got worse. You have a lot of what they call like internet gangsters. You know what I mean?
AF society, have we witnessed? People believe that if they have their own voice, they scream loud enough, they're right. And they believe perception is their own reality. It may not be truth, but in their mind, it is their own reality. For a person to not able to objectively look at something, use common logic, common sense, to come to a determination just based on merely the facts, not the color of one's skin, that tells me a whole lot about your character if you choose that direction.
And you told me you feel like you know the moment this became more than simply a horrible tragedy and a crime story in North Texas, where it became this larger thing, and it was that press conference.
Yes, sir. I do believe that was probably one of the turning points. I was there to show up to pray. I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial divide thing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominic Alexander, a convicted baby-shaking felon advocate who decided to throw me out of the press conference, have me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me how I was such, you know, I can't remember the word he used, but that I shouldn't have been there, and it was not dignified to my son or myself, which I really couldn't quite understand as they proceeded to gaslight me. And also took there was a young lady who has followed the case also from the entire time. Her name is Sarah Fields. Also showed information about her. That's when they took it from any type of remote.
I'm not gonna lie. Sarah Fields' name is definitely, you know, it's always been out there because of the information, the amazing information that she puts out. Y'all know that I've always put out Sarah Fields, the things that she put out. I feel like it's definitely important to acknowledge that and put that anywhere, you know, and everywhere, because one thing that I can tell y'all is that when it comes down to Sarah Fields and the things that she's done ever since this happened, and she's on top of other things, but when it comes down to this case in particular, she has been on her A game. When I tell y'all she's been on her A game, so I definitely got to give her flowers for that, because she's been doing an amazing job, and I'm definitely glad that Jeff Metcalf, said her name.
Which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card, and now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said on one of the first interviews I ever did was, please don't make this about race, and please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah. I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know what happened was terrible. And and your son made a horrible mistake. I was hoping for some accountability maybe and some remorse. Neither one was shown.
Have you ever spoken to the Anthonys?
No.
No apology, no remorse.
Nothing.
And I feel like if they owe anybody anything, I feel like it'd definitely be Metcalf's parents, Austin Metcalf's parents. I feel like they don't owe anybody else pretty much, you know, when it comes down to it. Obviously, you know, when you talking about, you know, when you bringing up, you know, God and stuff like that because of the things and the hurtful things they've been saying and the things they've been doing, that's one thing. But like speaking on, like, you know, when you're having Austin Metcalf or Megan Metcalf, like those are, and Hunter, you know, those are people, Austin, those are people that, you know, truly they owe that apology more so too, and they haven't did that. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. At this point, you know, and I definitely don't want to say that it doesn't matter, but at the same time, like they haven't, not so much. And I say this because y'all gotta think about it like this. I could see, honestly, and I really couldn't even see this because again, they lost a son. It's because, you know, it's hard to say, but like I could see if Austin Metcalf, Megan, or, you know, or Hunter came about it crazy, or, you know, came with different type of slurs and they said this and said that and this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying it's okay to sit there and, you know, and talk crazy to somebody or do this or be violent or anything like that. But I truly feel like, you know, if it was that, it could have been, what they're doing now and this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying that it's okay again, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but I'm just saying, like, it'll look somewhat, better. They haven't did anything at all but want justice for their son. When it came down to this, when it first happened, you didn't have Jeff, acting or being some type of way. Megan, when she got on Fox News, with Hunter, they wasn't acting a certain way. They were hurt, by it. As she said, this young boy did this to my son, this, that, and the other. But it was nothing out the way, nothing disrespectful, and they could have been, because then again they lost their son, and you angry about that. Jeff Metcalf, he got on there and he said things of in the nature of I forgive him, and I do. They came like that. It was more so like that. And y'all can go back and look at those old videos. I promise y'all, when they first came out with things, it was totally different. But then, and still now, I definitely say that Jeff Metcalf has gotten a little bit angrier, which he should, as he should, because again, he lost his son. Not only did he lose his son, but it's like they don't care. They haven't received an apology. They haven't received nothing. And it's truly sickening. And they're letting a lot of people, speaking of Carmelo Anthony's parents, they're letting a lot of people, and I'm not even about to say they letting a lot of people, because that's the type of people that they are. There are people that truly don't care and have no type of character, I should say.
The courtroom, quite obviously, after the verdict, the Anthonys left. They weren't there for Carmelo's sentencing.
That is correct. They weren't there for the sentencing, and they were not there for victim impact statements. They left that poor child up there by himself. As soon as the verdict was read, he was guilty. His family and some other advocates left the courtroom and turned in their badges.
Jeff, I was talking to you earlier. I asked about Austin's twin brother, Hunter. And I asked you, what has life been like for Hunter in school? Frisco Memorial has other black students. What's the relationships been like at school? What has life been like for Hunter?
Well, I can't speak, for Hunter. I can only try to imagine. But he held his grades. He had straight A's this year. He was captain of the football team. Took over his brother's position. I honestly can't see anyone that has the strength or the mental fortitude as much as that young man does. I told him, matter of fact, I told him right after the trial when he went up to give his victim impact statement that I saw a boy walk up there, but what I saw walk down was a man. He was calm.
I ain't gonna lie, that gave me the chills. I don't know about y'all, I gotta play that back. He said he saw a boy walk up there, but then when we walked back, he saw a man.
That I saw a boy walk up there, but what I saw walk down was a man. He was calm, to the point, was able to articulate his words in a way that could be very understood very well. Asked Carmelo to look him in the eye to show him some respect, and never once became emotional, and was able to convey what his thoughts were at that moment.
And you told me that multiple black students throughout Frisco High, Memorial High, also in the middle school, the entire community rallied around Hunter, rallied around your family, rallied around.
And that goes to show y'all right there, it starts with the parents. It starts with the parents. You have, kids, you have young teens that are in these schools that are supporting, the Metcalf family. But then you had these parents that look at it totally. And the crazy thing about this is that last year I looked and seen, I looked at different accounts, I look at different things, and to make sure, because I love speaking out on the truth. I don't like telling y'all and feeding y'all BS. But I seen, the social media accounts of, different parents, and I seen Jeff's social media account, and I looked at things and different, and I seen that Hunter and Austin. They have friends of all different races. It's nothing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to continue to divide and make it out to where Carmelo is the victim in all of this, and he's truly not. And that's what truly gets on my nerves about it, is because it all speaks for itself. You have all these people chirping and talking and saying this and saying that and talking about the Metcalf family. Excuse me. Told you I went fishing today, got allergies. But, you know, chirping, saying this, saying that, and doing this and that. But actions, you know, show differently. You know, people that obviously have went to that school, that was at that event, you know, the witnesses, those. I mean, it's truly sickening on what, you know, a lot of these Carmelo Anthony parents and Carmelo Anthony supporters, you know, what they have going on and what they're doing.
Hostin. The point being, what was happening actually on the ground and in your lives was so different than what was taking place in the national media, in the conversation, for example, on The View.
Don't get me started on left liberal who have Showtime. But anyway, the community and the school itself, obviously we dedicated the season to Austin, and there was a logo, motto, whatever you want to call it. It's called All In. A stood for Austin. The two ones were his number 11. I stand for integrity. N stands for never quit. And they dedicated the season to him, and that became the motto. And they also presented me and Megan with a framed jersey of Austin with his jersey number 11 that hangs above my fireplace as we speak. But as far as the makeup of the team, I mean, you know, I'd say half the team are blacks. I mean, we don't see color.
Come on now.
So all I see is character in people.
Come on now.
I don't care what color you are. I want to judge you how you treat people. What's your character like? Your color makes no difference. It doesn't.
People got that's it, and that's all. That's it, and that's all I keep telling y'all. They have no character. It's either you good or you bad. It's no in between. It's not this, it's not that. It's how you treat another person. I'm telling y'all, this is a good man right here.
It doesn't determine your IQ. It doesn't determine your faith. It doesn't determine how much money you have. But your character shows who you are truly. And that's how I judge people.
And you said don't get me started on it, but to your point, a lot of big voices in the media have talked about this, said I don't understand. I could play a clip for you, which I'm not going to, of Sonny Hostin on The View saying, I don't understand how this couldn't possibly be self-defense. So what is your judgment of all these people in the media that have spoken on the case?
Well, they're just like anybody else. They don't know me. They don't know Hunter, Austin. They don't know Carmelo. They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame or their clickbait.
You see what I'm saying? The thing about this, if y'all actually heard Jeff and like understood on what, you know, where he's coming from and this, that, and the other, all you have to do is just listen to people. I feel like that's one of the main things, you know, you can definitely just tell how a person is. Not only did he just mention, you know, his sons or anything like that, but he mentioned still Carmelo. They don't know Austin. They don't know Hunter. They don't know anybody. They don't know Carmelo. Y'all see how this man is still, and it's more so because he had like, how does it look to have somebody that had lost a son and he still feels some way of a feeling for somebody who did something, you know, who did that to his son? But then you still have people that's being highly disrespectful, saying this and saying that. That just goes to show you the character that this man has. I'm telling y'all, this is a great dude right here. I got to give it to him.
They're looking to monetize the death of my son. I really wish they wouldn't speak about it at all. Because, one, if that woman said that, she has no idea about the facts of the case, but she wants to spew her public opinion on a platform that reaches millions of people every day. Do I have that platform? No, but today I have a little platform to say what I'd like. She is completely wrong. And if they want to take me and call me and ask me to be on The View with them, I would gladly fly me up there and let me talk to all of you.
Well, I can promise you more people are watching you right now than watch The View.
It's not hard to believe.
Last thing, Jeff.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I would absolutely love Jeff Metcalf to do that. Sure, if I gotta go, I definitely will. Sarah Fields, actually, I'm pretty sure she posted. I wonder if I put it in my next video. But I'm pretty sure she posted and said something about her going with Jeff Metcalf. I definitely feel like that'd be amazing. I'm not gonna lie, but one thing about it is that I know Jeff Metcalf does an amazing job with speaking clearly, and just letting know, not beating around the bush, not sugarcoat nothing, but tell them like it is. Definitely.
You said that they don't know your son. What would you like the world to know about Hostin Metcalf?
Man, I don't think we have enough time. But, Austin, I'll try to sum it up. He was a leader. He was a God-fearing son. He had compassion. He showed love. He always was helping his teammates, always helping the younger kids from middle school who was transitioning to high school football. He would go and talk to them and tell them what to expect. He would coach them in the weight room. He was a leader.
That's the captain.
When he stepped on that field, he became someone totally different. And he played, I told him once before, I said, son, you play with such controlled rage. And it shows. And for him to have all the accolades and the thing and where he was going, there's no doubt in my mind he was playing D1 football. But, let's just go a step forward. Maybe there's that 1% chance.
Well, is that Duke? I can't really tell who that is, but I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that he was pretty good at football.
Chance he does get to the NFL. I may be biased because he's my son, but he had the numbers, the stats, and the size. So the possibility does exist. I don't know about the probability, but the possibility surely existed.
Well, the prayers go out to his brother. I definitely do pray that his brother make it. When it comes down to the NFL and stuff like that, D1. That's pretty cool. And it's truly sad that you have this family that's going through this still, based on things that have been going on.
I'm sorry for all that you and your family have been through, and you and I've spoken, and I know you're continuing to go through it. I know you're getting a lot that is completely undeserved and unfortunate out there. So you continue to, but I appreciate you sharing with us, and with the world about Hostin.
Well, that's one thing, all in, and this is one of the things that people understand that we did all the time was this, and this is sign language for I love you. If you ever see my boys or whatever, that was kind of like, their thing to tell me, hey man, I'm thinking about you, I love you. And I just want the world to understand, it all starts with you, and it all starts at home. So as a parent, do your best. Are your kids? Doesn't mean they're going to turn out right or wrong. It doesn't guarantee that they will live or die. But I do believe if you instill your moral values and a moral compass, I think our society is going the wrong direction right now. And us as parents are the only ones that are able to change this, because our kids are the future.
Come on.
And what does our future look like with what we're teaching them right now that is acceptable?
Jeff Metcalf, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie. Jeff Metcalf needs his own show. I'm not gonna lie. He needs his own show. He's well spoken. I feel like he can do a lot. With putting a huge positive impact on not only parents but just people in general, young teens, young adults. I can just tell that he raised, and still, raised Hostin great, raising, Hunter, Megan too as well. They both have amazing parents, from my understanding. The things that he said, the things that, I've been watching and seeing ever since. And just hearing everything that he has going on, it truly means a lot of even hearing this. I've said from the get-go that it starts with the parents, and just what he said, it doesn't mean, that they're going to turn out, this way or that way, but, it definitely does, start with the parents. And you obviously see that when it comes down to Carmelo and how his parents are acting, it truly shows on the way in what Carmelo did. It truly shows that, not, apologizing, not even looking them in the eye. It's not about, and you can definitely just tell you know, how he raised, the things that, you know, has been put in his ear, just based off of, you know, what I've heard, you know, he did in court, and just seeing on what he did in general. You know, it's truly sad and truly sickening. Let me know in the comments what y'all think down below. Definitely appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate y'all for every single thing that y'all do. It's truly a blessing. When I tell y'all that this is something that I truly been, you know, waiting on. I truly have, because I feel like it just, I don't know. I feel like this is like my first like real case, like real thing I've been, you know, following for a minute. And this is something that I needed to. You know, I feel like me talking about this and letting people know these things, I feel like regardless, this not only should reach, you know, a person, but, you know, a couple or a few, you know, and I'm speaking more so of, you know, the younger generation, to do what's right. You know, there's a lot of people that will say this and say that when it comes down to this case, you know, that's very disrespectful, very inappropriate and nasty, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to do what's right, and you have to know the difference between right and wrong. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.